Okay. So today we got stuff to catch up on. So first of all, we have this class 3 times this week. Sorry. This is 4. So, we do not have this class tomorrow, and evidently we don't have it this week either. Whatever. So, between today and Thursday, I need to get you guys up on how to do the word problems and use technology. So using the Desmos matrix calculator. So you will need a Chromebook. You don't need it out yet, but this is where we're going. Homework is going to be on a worksheet. I want the work in a notebook, like a clean sheet of paper like this, with problem number 1, actually saying number 1 versus a smush of random stuff, and like stuff labeled. Organization matters. Okay, you have an exit card on Friday. The following week, many of you have the IB Psych exam on the 7th. Okay. The district assessment is next Wednesday. Those of you who have a conflict will have to work it out and do it at lunch or something. The district's assessment is usually a half an hour thing. And then the following week, there's a test on all things vectors and matrices. Okay? So that's what's coming up. Is there another? I mean, there are AP tests on all of those.
Yeah.
Do you guys know if you have AP conflicts with either of those? Well, if you do, send me Ivan.
The AP environmental science is on Tuesday. 13th.
7th? Okay. So if you guys have a conflict with that, yeah, what else? AP Lit.
The APES exam is on the 13th, not the 7th.
Okay. All right. So if you guys have a conflict with that, we'll have to chat about it. Okay. So, and change these, and they changed back. Awesome. Okay. So, here's the deal. Here's a word problem. We're gonna work through setting up this word problem, start to finish, to show you my expectations for the homework sheet that you're gonna get. So, reading through this for the AP Calculus exam, really the calculus teachers, we do go out and buy food for the students. We don't buy them all fruit, but whatever. Some bagels and some this and that. I should say apples, bagels, and cheese sticks. That is more representative. But, alright. So, what? Not enough bagels. Maybe it's 4 dozen.
Just bagels by itself.
Well, no, there's cream cheese too.
Okay.
And cheese sticks. And granola bars and
I
another.
just thought like you eat bagel by itself.
People do.
I see you do.
Okay, alright. So in this story of stuff, first thing is we want you to define the variables. And by define variables, we want to see all of this written out. Let A equal not apples, not the number of apples, not the number of pounds of apples, but A stands for the cost per pound of apples. So, get a notebook out, please. And can you guys like write this down? You don't need to write the whole story. I would like you to write starting here. Let A equal cost of a pound of apples. What's the next variable that we should put up? Cost per pound of bananas. What letter do you want to use? B. You can't use A twice. Let B equal cost of a pound of bananas. And why is pound abbreviated LB? I do not know. Okay? What's my other variable going to be? Cost per pound of clementines. Okay. Sorry?
I think they put the start of the words as A, B, C,
Yes. Yes. We're so clever. Okay. So, Isaac, what's one equation that I can set up with this line and some data from here? So, the cost of all the things that I bought, $32.75. Nora, what about the second one?
Maybe 8A plus 3 B and 5 cents plus 5 cents.
Equals what?
Where does the second? Oh, 24 and 30.
Look at what's the last line gonna be. What's Miss Woman's total? So reading the words, here's the word problem, needs both of these parts. Miss Woman bought 4 pounds of apples, 6 pounds of bananas, and 6, sorry, I want the last equation on the desk, please. As this, like one of these, like the 2 examples that are already here. Read these words and turn them into an equation that has something to do with more data that's on this line.
So 4A plus 6B plus 6C.
So you have these written down already? That, because it should be, obvious. Okay, so for tonight's homework, we ask you to define the variables. That's step 1, defining the variables. Write a system of equations to model the situation. So these are the bills for the 3 of us buying these 3 different things. Okay, the next thing is set up the matrices. Valentina, how do I turn this thing into matrices? Okay, so when we multiply matrices, first times this, second times the second one, third one times the third one, so 10A plus 4B plus 7C equals this guy. That gives me that first equation. Like, do you see how these are working? So again, on the worksheet, set up the names for the variables. Write the system that models the story, so that's the stuff in blue, and then do the stuff in green, write the matrices. All right. If it's a 2 by 2, we want you to do it by hand. Is this a 2 by 2 matrix? No. So, can you get out your Chromebook and bring up Matrix Desmos calculator?
I don't have time.
Okay, well then, you get to come up and click up here, because that's fun. So William, come on up.
You know how it's also.
Yeah, I think you can do it from there. So we want a new matrix, right? So if we want new matrix, what are the dimensions of the matrix that we want?
3 by 3?
3 by 3. So he immediately clicked on the bottom, add a row, add a column. So columns in our matrix, and then we need to go to the next one. Here we go. So does everybody have matrix calculator up from Desmos?
Is that good?
Okay. And then he needs to enter another matrix. What were the dimensions of the other matrix?
Was it ABC or?
Well, no, we're
We're not
solving
check-
for ABC.
It was, 1 by?
1 by 3 or 3 by 1?
3 by 1.
3 by 1.
3275.
Yep. Gotta hit the decimal.
430. Whoops.
No, you doing okay with this? Okay, so, thank you. Hang on. I need to show you guys what we're doing now. So William just typed in matrix A and matrix B. And to peel off A, I need to multiply by A inverse on the left. So I want to figure out what matrix M is. And I'm going to do that by multiplying A inverse times B. How do I do that? Well, A inverse times B. That's it. Can I do it again? Oh, 3 times B inverse. Just B. So let's look. A inverse times B. So A inverse times B, and then I get this. What does that mean? What is it? The cost of, so that number 1, what does that stand for? Okay. Remember, what were the numbers?
And then
3.05. All right. For word problems, I don't want you to just say A is 1, B is 0.35, and C is 3.05. But Angel said that means apples cost $1 a pound. What's the cost of a pound of bananas? Bananas are 35 cents a pound. Now, what's the last thing we need? Sort of don't think you're on mute. What is the last thing we need? What does that mean? given all the other things that we've written. Times cost $3.05 per pound. Yeah.
When I clicked it in Thursday, it just like pulls up.
See what you're doing? Okay. So if you guys are not getting exactly the same things, check that your matrix has the same setup as here. All right, I will hand out the classwork, which is also homework, and it's word problems, your favorite. Yes, your favorite. Yep. Okay. So can you guys try this problem, and those of you who would like to do the exit ticket on Friday, you can do that now. So that would be Eleanor, Oliver, Ivan, anyone else? What? William.
What?
Your sister is saying that yours to take the exit card from Friday now also.
Oh, yeah.
Say it like you mean it. Yes, I would be thrilled. You would make my day. You too, Angel. It is without calculator. Without, this one is without calculator. That's what no calculator means. Clever boy.
Does mean no notes too.
It means no notes also.
I thought I didn't.
You might have, William. Your sister says you can.
Wait, did we do this Thursday?
This was Thursday. Yeah,
Oh,
this was
yeah.
Thursday.
Wait, I already.
Okay, hold on. Let me check.
Were there two?
There were two, no. So that last week, not every class was on every day, so some people had the exit card on Friday. So let's see. Fourth period,
I'm like
the
that.
people missing. Eleanor, Senna, Macho. So you guys, you already did it.
Yes.
You did not. I think I gave you this.
I think I did. First five. Actually, no, you didn't. No, actually, no, yeah.
I do not have a score down.
Wait, no, you did.
Okay. find the variables. What are our variables? BCC High School, 452 tickets were sold for the first basketball game. There were 2 ticket prices, 75 cents for students, $2 for non-students. How many tickets of each type were sold if the revenue was $429? So what are my variables?
452, T equals 452.
Not
So
quite.
student ticket costs $75, or the tickets.
So, do I need to say student ticket costs 4.75? I'm gonna use that data, but I need, how many types of tickets do I have?
2.
So I need names for those 2 types of tickets.
S and N.
Okay, and my S's look like 5, so I'm gonna pick a different letter. So I'm gonna pick C for child student tickets. So the number of student tickets sold, I'm gonna call C. And you said N for non-student?
I didn't say that.
Well, last class said A and B. He said, you said, swears, yes,
I'm
and
sure that was.
Okay, so I've defined my variables. Isaac, I need a system. Can you tell me an equation that I can get out of the relationships described here? Okay, so he said the number of student tickets plus the number of non-student tickets adds up to the total number of tickets, which is 452. And a student ticket is 75 cents, and a non-student ticket is $2, so 75 cents for every student ticket, $2 for every non-student ticket, totals $429. So we've defined our variables, we've written a system to model it. Ahmed, how do I write the matrix that this models? Well, a 2 by 2 and a 2 by 1 and an equals a 2 by 1. What goes in this first one?
0.75
Okay, why do you, last class did this too? I need the top equation as well. The number in front of the C, the number in front of this N. What goes in the second matrix? C and the N, and what goes in the, over here? Okay. And the directions ask you to solve 2 by 2s by hand. Is this a 2 by 2? Yep. So we're asking you to do it by hand. A times M equals B. So the matrix, the answer that I want is A inverse times B. And when I say by hand, you're allowed to use like the 4 function part of a calculator, the arithmetic on a calculator, because these are yucky. But how do I find A inverse again? I need the determinant of matrix A. Emma, how do I find the determinant for matrix A?
1 times 2.
1 times 2
Plus 1 times 1.5. 1
minus.
minus 1 minus 7.
Hang on, real quick. What's the rest of the? There's some funny business to make the inverse. Here, what do I need to do with the numbers in the box?
Switch the 2 to 1 and switch the sign.
stay where they are, but you flip the signs. And then you do your matrix multiplies.
With new.
1 through 5. 2, 3, and 4 are with the calculator, or the Desmos matrix calculator, which Emery, after having done these by hand, I find it really fun to do it with the calculator, because it was painful by hand.